It's the law no matter what you say! It's the law no matter what you say!
Dueling protests over LGBTQ inclusive curriculum in BC schools draw hundreds of people, both outside the BC Teachers Federation and in front of the BC Legislature. On one side, holding signs that say tolerance and inclusion is a human right, educators, students, and parents show their support for SOGI 123, teaching tools for sexual orientation and gender identity. On the other side, with signs saying hands off our children and parents have rights,
you are marching with big government and big pharmaceutical companies.
No worries.
We are putting kids on a path towards permanent sterilization. Are we losing our minds?
So it's okay for adults to live as they want and do as they want, but they need to stay away from kids. They can't be indoctrinating kids.
Smith, who identifies as transgender, believes it's brainwashing.
They don't want their kids taught a confusing gender ideology, and many of these books and stuff that they're giving kids in school are confusing them. Okay, so it's going to make them question their gender identity.
And angry parents agree.
No, I know,
Lives! SOGI saves 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 lives! Transphobia! No transphobia! No transphobia! No transphobia! No transphobia!
garbage. I played soccer. Oh, there's Jenn. Actually speaking.
Excuse me, guys. Can I just reach and get my
You are cowards afraid of facts.
Protesters are gathering this hour at UBC ahead of a controversial event featuring an Okanagan man accused of promoting transphobic hate speech. Our Angela Jung is live at UBC tonight with more. Angela.
Nafisa, well, you can hear it is already underway. Demonstrators have been gathering here at Martha Piper Plaza. They say they're not here to be disruptive, but it's already begun to be quite heated. Right now, demonstrators say that they're just here to show their support for transgender students and staff here at UBC.
We have men being put in women's prison right now.
Jenn Smith is accused of spreading transphobic hate speech. The transgender speaker, who identifies as male, is publicly against SOGI 123, a provincial school resource designed to support LGBTQ students.
They are in our schools now, as you'll find out very shortly, brainwashing our children.
A group representing UBC staff has been pushing for the talk to be cancelled, but the university says it's more about free speech. Smith's talks at Douglas College and Trinity Western were cancelled this month, but UBC maintains its position, saying, "We believe selectively shutting down conversations on complex and challenging topics undermines that crucial foundation of academic freedom." UBC says 5 of its security members are here, and the RCMP are also here and ready to respond if they are needed. Now, we were supposed to speak with Jenn Smith, but he was not able to make himself available before our newscast. We hope to hear from him for later tonight.
This isn't about hatred, although certain people would have you believe that it is, but that is a lie. What I did in that essay is I compared the synagogue cult that was very popular and powerful in the United States in the 1960s and 70s, and I compared that to modern transgender activism in terms of the psychology and recruitment methods and these types of things. So I did a direct comparison, and that was a very successful essay for me that put me on the map. Subsequently, I got involved in
Trans rights are human rights.
if anybody interrupts, they'll be asked me.
Trans rights are human rights. Trans rights are human rights.
Of course they are. Absolutely. It's good that we agree. See, these people are ridiculous.
Security.
They're making a statement that I agree with, and I think they're saying something. It is not hate speech. That is a lie, and you are a liar. I do not promote hatred. If you'd actually listen to me, you'd figure that out. Section 430, causing a disturbance. Section 176.
For sakes, are you kidding me?
No.
This is what it is.
This is a joke.
The Vancouver Pride Society is banning UBC from its annual parade just weeks after the university hosted an anti-Soji speaker. CTV's Regan Hasegawa is live at Jim Diva Plaza with more on this. So Regan, what is behind this move?
The Pride Society says UBC did not make the cut because it hosted an event featuring a controversial speaker. This is the video from that night 2 weeks ago. Crowds of people were on hand to protest a decision to host Jenn Smith. Smith is a transgender speaker and opponent of Soji 123, a provincial school resource designed to support LGBTQ students. The Pride Society believes the university's booking policy defended a platform for anti-transgender hate speech.
The annual Pride Parade went ahead in downtown Vancouver and the West End today, minus a pair of regular participants. The Pride Society asked the Vancouver Public Library and UBC to stay home.
Massive crowds lined the streets to watch the Pride Parade. They cheered for organizations and good dogs and even some bad dogs, but they couldn't cheer for UBC or the Vancouver Public Library.
As an organization, we do have the right to say who can march with us and who can't. And when there's transphobic or homophobic behavior, obviously we're not going to let those people into our parade.
Even the Prime Minister weighed in, siding with the Pride Society.
The Pride community has the right to invite and include organizations that it feels are allies. I know that the goal of including everyone is really important, but it's also really important to take strong stands against intolerance.
Human rights! Trans rights are human rights! Trans rights are human rights! Go home! Go home! Jen Smith, go home! Jen Smith, go home! Jen Smith, go home! Lock in, John. Jen Smith, go home! Jen Smith, go home! Jen Smith, go home!
All right.
Right here! Right here! They're here! They're here!
Where are you going? Okay, maybe we need to get the police.
Trans rights are human rights! Trans rights are human rights! Trans rights are human rights!
Guys!
Trans rights are human rights!
Guys, relax, you psychos!
Trans rights are human rights!
Relax, you psychos! Violence is not cool!
So it looks like they found Jenn Smith. That's kind of like a mob, isn't it?
It kind of is, and the police are just like walking away. They're like, oh, he's good. He's all right.
That it is the most psychologically and emotionally vulnerable kids who are falling for this and are essentially being victimized by our system and put on a path that leads to permanent sterilization and possible irreversible damage to their body and changes that they can't come back from. I'm calling on the Premier of BC. I'm calling on the Minister of Child and Family Development. I'm calling on our Minister of Education. I'm calling on every politician who has a decent bone in their bodies, who cares about the well-being of our most vulnerable children, to call for an immediate inquiry into what is going on with our, not only our foster children, but all of our most vulnerable kids, including the autistic kids that I talked about.